It's something which I'm always missing when I produce with digital emulations. Hey guys, my name is Fejká and today I want to show you how I produced my album track AZUR. So let's dive into Ableton. So everything started with a Prophet melody actually. I recorded it a while ago and it's basically just a chord progression with an open filter. So it's a very easy sound and you can do it with every synthesizer, no matter if it's hardware or software actually. It's only important that the cutoff is open and the sustain and decay and you get a sound like that. As you can hear, we have multiple notes playing at the same time, but the sound is really basic for the moment. Now I'm going to show you how I made the LFO filter automation. I'm using this plugin called SoundToys, but there are multiple ways how you do it. So let's maybe listen first what the plugin is doing to the sound. As you can hear, it's really printing in this pattern, this rhythmic pattern. And there are multiple ways on how to change this. For example, using this tempo button, which is basically the speed of the rhythm cuts. So if we check out the second version of this plugin, you will see that I printed in something in the envelopes. Let's see it here. And it's the tempo basically. So what I did here, I was just using my mouse and duplicated it, if you can see, multiple times. And yeah, let's listen to it. You can also see it here that the tempo is changing. And you can also see it here in the SoundToys interface. It's basically the BPM which is changing and it's creating this nice rhythm. So I finally did this using my original Prophet Rev 2, but you can also do it with any kind of other synthesizers, as I told you before. So for instance, I used this wavetable synth from Ableton. Now let's listen to it without effect. Yeah, it's just a very basic sound, but let's listen to it again. As you can listen, it's quite different from the original Prophet sound, but I actually like it too. It's just a matter of style, and to be honest, I'm not always using analog recordings. Sometimes I prefer the digital versions or the digital emulations, I would say. So yeah, it only matters in the end, you know, like what you hear. It's not really like analog is better or digital is better. It's really what's better for you and for the final sound you want to achieve. But for this specific track, I used the original Prophet recording because it has like this super nice transients in the upper frequencies, which you can listen here. So now we're using some effects to create nice automations to change that Prophet synthesizer sound and making a nice evolution, which is atmospheric. I created a basic effect rack by myself. So I put in here some of my favorite effects and I basically mapped them to these 8 knobs. And these 8 knobs are mapped to my MIDI Fighter Twister MIDI controller. And I can basically just turn these endless knobs while playing live or also in the production and create the automations live, which is super nice. So let's do it. By the way, I just announced a remix contest for this specific track and I really can't wait to get your submissions and to hear to all the demos you are sending me. So make sure to check out the link in the description. It's running until end of April and I'm wishing you good luck. Using digital processing, I think I developed my own way on how to work with melodic and atmospheric music. And the reason is because I never really had classical music training. So I never had this feeling of playing nice chord progressions and knowing, hey, this is a nice melody. And this way I really started to work a lot with loops. And loops sometimes sound very boring if you don't do anything with them. So I developed a few strategies how to make the loops sound interesting and also evolve over time. So I think the goal here is to create something completely different from the source. And to show you what I mean, I'm going to start with a piano loop and show you what I finally created with the piano loop and how it's contributing to the whole song as a melodic layer. So let's start with that. Let me present you this piano loop without effects. Yeah, so it's just a basic piano loop. I actually use this plugin called Soft Piano from Labs. It's free actually and it's super nice. And what I did here is I added the beat repeat. And some delay. And it's already becoming really interesting. I'm using the beat repeat technique a lot. It's an Ableton stock plugin, so it's super easy to use. And I think I used it on my songs Echoes and Oceana. And there's even more we can do with that loop. So let's check out what else we have here. As you can see, there's this Decimort plugin, and as I told you earlier in the drum section, it's a bit crusher, so it's really adding nice high frequencies and nice texture sounds to the original source. So let's listen to it again with the effect activated and deactivated. So yeah, the sound is really broken, but it's also getting this nice vintage touch and this vintage feel. And especially now when I activate the bass line from the break, you will realize how much it contributes to the overall atmospheric feeling. Yeah, so as you can see, we changed a piano loop into something completely different to support our bass line in the break section. And let's move on maybe with exact that bass line I was talking about. It's a sound I made with the Diva plugin. And yeah, I automated a few parameters like the sustain and decay. But actually, the magic, I think, is just in the chord progression. I think that the Diva has a super nice and rich sound. And if you layer a lot of nice harmonic fifths and octaves over each other in the notes, it's really becoming like super nice and warm. So yeah, I'm opening the filter here, the cutoff. What else? Some automations in the equalizer and in the filter. What do we have here? Yeah, just a very slight automations of some basic effects, but it's all ending up in this super great loop. Yeah. We have a sparkly sound and a metallic perky sound. And they really have a nice feeling when it comes to the overall feeling together with the kick. They have like these super nice transient sounds, and especially on big PA systems in a club or in a festival, I really love this super tiny transient sounds because they're making such a huge difference. But let's check out the heads now. As you can see, I put in like an automation curve here, and it's printed in. I think I even used the MIDI fighter as well here. You can see that it's automating the release time of this vocoder. So the vocoder is basically just creating something like a release time feeling for the heads, and it's extending like the tail of the heads. For these specific clap sounds, I used a lot of PML samples, but let's move on with the shaker sounds here. So as you can see, we have 5 different layers, but if you group them together, it feels like just like one shaker head loop. So this is what I meant. It's really about adding a lot of different layers of sounds and creating like a really rich texture. We also have this tom here, which is very important for the song, I would say. And I think what's so special about it is the reverb feeling and the delay, but also this kind of impactfulness it has. So let's listen to the tom together with the kick. So the decapitator from Soundtoys, it's basically a saturator, and it's really pushing the kick to make it feel more impactful. This filter delay is only used for this little, I would say micro notes besides the main tom sound. And the tuner is in here for a good reason, because sometimes if you use kick and tom samples, the tune is actually not correct. So it's very important to always check out the tuning of your drums. If there's something special, I would say it's the choice of samples and the amount of layering, which really makes the drums feel different than normal drums, I would say. For the drum bass, I have this thing here called full parallel compression. It's super nice to give a little push to your sound, but I also like to give another push using the PSP Vintage Warmer. For the PSP Vintage Warmer, I don't use this low end function here, as I want to leave up that for the mastering engineer, but I really like boosting the highs with sounds with it, and I also try not to overuse the mix button, but in general I like to use it as a very slight and subtle booster for a lot of sounds. So that's it for the moment. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you liked it, make sure to comment. I'm really excited what you think and if I should do more videos like this. And don't forget to check out my remix contest as well. It's about the song AZUR, which I just showed you, and I think it's running until end of April, so there's still some time to participate. I can't wait to listen to all your submissions, and yeah, I'm really excited. So stay tuned and see you soon.